Siemensstraße playing area is located in the 12th district, as we know, and it's built between 1950s to 1954. The architect Franz Schuster planned 1,573 apartments for this area, and settlement is constructed so that we around the settlement we have the biggest, the tallest buildings, and as we go furthermore to the center, we have the smallest smallest buildings. The next we have the more types for those kind of buildings, types of apartments, and the most common is a duplex type 1 and 2. We will discuss that later. We noticed that we have very, as we walked through this area, we noticed that we have that green areas are not very usable and not very, they seem unwelcome. Each area is surrounded by 4 houses, so it's not clear, is it public space, green area, open green area, or is it just for residential use? Also, we saw the problems with parking in some streets, and then what else? Okay, we also saw the problems that there is no any terraces here in this area, so the whole area looks a bit unwelcome. And yeah, you can say about maybe concept.
Yeah, so I will go on with our main ideas in the concept now. Here you can see what we were thinking of. So the first idea was to create a new green center and to change their kindergarten, and we also wanted to create a pedestrian zone so we don't have the problem with all the parking cars anymore, and to build some mobility hubs for car sharing and yeah, stuff like this. So another point was the community areas. There are already some shops and cafes in the area, but not much of yeah, public buildings. So we wanted to create some more, but we will go to this later. And the other part was that we wanted to improve the old structure and to create new types of housing, so that there can live any kind of people. And the main idea of our concept is to work with the old structure and to revival yeah, the green area, and to create different kinds of housing. So here you can see the whole area and the concept. Here you can see where we built or created public buildings, and there are also some old ones and some shops here, as I already said, and the kindergarten and co-working space. And here you can also see where we that we put in the center and the surrounding the pedestrian zone, and here also some shops in the center. Yeah, but also a main part of our concept was to improve the old apartments and the structure. So here you can see the different kinds of housing. We created some for single apartments, temporary housing, assisted living, and yeah, family apartments, shared flats, and so on. And now we will, yeah, present you more in detail what we planned. So yeah.
So we have here a community, a greenhouse that is near community houses and between shared building apartments. You can see here and also it's right in the center. So the idea was that we actually create some place where we can where people can gathering outside and as well as inside. Its idea was to create some center in this whole settlement and to provide public gathering. So yeah, that's here we can see the plans, and yeah, that's pretty much about this project about greenhouse.
Yeah, here you can also see where the cafe is located. It's in the west of the center and the park area. And next to it is our community house. It's surrounded by the pedestrian zones, so it's good place for a community center where you can also have some festivities at this open place. And we planned to put there temporary housing in this building and the youth house and the library and community hall. And there's also an open air stage and yeah, some outdoor furniture. So here, this building A is the temporary housing. We changed the old structure, so we have here 5 rooms on each level, and then a community room, but every room has its own bathroom and sanitary, so they're independent, but also can have some yeah, communication area in the kitchen. And we also added an elevator, so this part of each level is barrier-free. And yeah, here in building B, you can see the library. And yeah, it's also with a classroom. If you have some yeah, courses for languages or anything like this, and a computer room. Also some sanitary communication area. And in the community house, here in the first floor, there's the community hall where you can rent the room for some festivities with your family or anything like that. And here in the section, you can also see how we planned this place here in the middle with the furniture and, sorry, yeah. So yeah, and these little stores in between, they're already existing there. So we thought about just giving them a new yeah, facade or something like this.
And we have a co-working area. It's located in the border of the settlement. You can see here the render that this picture is created between 2 buildings, and we can see the third one, this here, under this yeah, roof. It's very quiet for co-working function, and we also next. And here we can see plans. So we make the apartments a little bit better and keep them there. The buildings and everything has also the same dimensions as previous buildings. And we got video conferences room and also library and small two libraries, and also the place for children daycare. In between those two buildings, it's a small park or a place where people can meet. And between another two buildings, that's covered. So we have a roof that's covering this area. So it's also designed for people to work outside in open place. And that's pretty much. Next.
Try. Okay, so yeah, here you could see our shared apartments. It's just next to the center and the kindergarten. So we thought it's good for a big community to live there. In the old buildings are just one single store buildings. So yeah, we added in the old structure just so everything we added in new, it is wooden, as you can see here, and we created yeah, more terraces. So here you can see the structure, the old structure of the old building, and yeah, how we changed it on each floor. So on the ground floor, there are 3 rooms and the living room and the kitchen, and also some sanitary rooms. And in the first floor as well, 3 rooms. And on the top, there is a big community room with a rooftop terrace. And yeah, so we created more place in more levels. Yeah.
And here we have a duplex apartment, the most common apartments in the whole area. As I mentioned earlier, the green areas seem unused, and life there is just not so. Doesn't seem that someone lives there. So we saw that what most lacking in this area are terraces. So we kind of, with those kind of terraces, we extrude the living area into these green places and courtyards. In this way, we didn't took any green areas out of the settlement, but we got a new kind of interesting happenings here. And the apartments here, we can, another slide, we can go here. We created another apartments here, but we also have the same dimensions. The dimensions of the windows are also the same. We just created a porch to the terraces. In some of those, in those apartments, we approach the terraces from the between levels, so from the staircases, and another terraces from another side. It's a normal terraces that's that can be used for both. Two apartments can use these terraces. So in this way, we got more rooms. We created from also, it's more apartments for a family, or also can be a shared apartments. So it's very easy to change the function of those apartments. It's not like existing area like now. They have only one room or a very small rooms, so it's not very functionable. In this way, we also got some rooms that people can use together, like kitchen in this type of duplex. So they can use this as in party thing way, or I don't know, in the gathering area for more people. And, so those are two kind of duplexes, and yeah, it's it. And
yeah, here you can see the overview of the development. So at first, we wanted to create the new center and the shared flats and the kindergarten and the park here. And the second step would be the community house with the greenhouse cafe here. And the third would be the co-working area with the single apartments. And fourth would be all the wooden balconies and the duplex apartments. The fifth would be some assisted living, but it's in the old structure of the building. We just would change the function. And then you could also put a sports center and a new mobility hub here, as we already did here. So, and here you can also see some impressions of the pedestrian zone, and yeah, that's it. Thank you.
A very short notation about this project. It's quite interesting the way they try to follow, to transform, to increase the existing buildings much more calibrated and controlled than the other project. Maybe the small wooden balconies are really fine. The idea to extend the dwellings with this just opposed elements, it's very interesting, and very light, also with the new with this timber structure and the old buildings around. It's very nice, and I believe it gives a very clear underline in a very clear way the concept of green renewal of the settlement. Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have also quickly comment. Also, hi. I think that your topic, green revival, is the key of your word. In this sense, I think that the work that you have done on a building, it's working well. Many different situations, many different approach, and it's working well. Probably for the future, I suggest you to be more brave and to work more with the void, with the natural surface and the green environment, because you decline urban structure, yes, like you described in your first sketch, but the title is very ambitious, and you have to work on the building, but also on the void, I suggest. But it's a good work, I think. Also because in some case, like the last that you show, you decline also a threshold between inside and outside. I like very much this pavilion that work in outside, but like a part of the house, and try to activate a relation with the environment. I think that this part is working well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Riccardo. Thank you. So if I can, another consideration about the strategy, because we watch and we study a lot of projects starting from the urban dimension and try to organize from the big scale. But your is interesting because it changed the paradigm and starting from architecture scale and try to use that kind of parasite architecture to change the global structure and the global system of the project. And I think it can be another way, different, another point to attack the problem, starting from the architecture scale and to go on to the urban scale. I think it can be another way, another point of view, or a little bit different from the other than we studied today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you again, Vanessa and Ivana.